Gentleman from St. Jackson.
Mr. Speaker, I notice an absence of a quorum.
The gentleman from St. Jackson has noted the absence of a quorum. All those in favor vote yes. All those opposed vote no. Mr. Clerk, please ring the bell and open the board. Gentleman from St. Charles County.
Mr. Speaker, would you please call the absentees?
Mr. Clerk, can you please call the absentees? Worth.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Introduction of special guests.
Proceed, gentlemen.
Thank you. I'd like to draw your attention to my immediate left and, Mr. Speaker, to your right, to a couple of wonderful Northwest Missourians, friends of mine, Andy and Shonda Abbott, and want to have the body make them feel welcome. They came down here. This is the first time at the Capitol, and I think they came down here to check on me, make sure I'm doing my job. So good to have them with us today.
Has everyone voted? Mr. Clerk, please close the board and tally the vote. By your vote of 37 yes, 2 no, and 91 present, you've established a quorum. Gentleman from St. Louis County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next order of business is House bills for third reading, and I ask that you recognize the gentleman from Jefferson on a motion for House Committee Substitute House Bill 2909 as amended.
Gentleman from Jefferson County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that House Committee Substitute for House Bill 2909 be third read and passed.
The gentleman from Jefferson County has moved for the third reading and passage of House Committee Substitute House Bill 2909. Gentleman from Jefferson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is the bill we just got done perfecting earlier today. It's the congressional map. I'm sure it's still pretty fresh in everybody's mind. I'd ask that we move forward and vote to pass this in third read and final pass. Without any questions, I'd renew my motion.
Discussion. Gentleman from Jackson.
To inquire the bill maker.
Gentleman from Jefferson, do you yield?
I do.
Proceed.
Well, good evening, sir.
I see you there. It is a good evening.
Back again. Yes, that little break, I went out and tried to get a little vitamin D.
Did you?
Yes, I did. And I want to just ask you, did this get independent evaluated to make sure it stands up to the Missouri and the U.S. Constitution?
Oh, absolutely it will get.
No, I'm saying, did it? Have it been
I believe
through
it
those?
did. I think when we went through this process early last year, we as a committee understood what was required to be constitutional and not, and I think we've checked the boxes on this, and I feel very confident that it'll withstand any court muster.
Well, I just want to let you know that working through this over the last year and some months, I've learned a lot. I think I've grown a lot behind that, and I know this is not an easy task for you, neither is it for me. But I'm going to just ask the body to vote their conscience and their district on this, and good luck to you.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Further discussion. Seeing none. Gentleman from Jefferson, you are recognized close.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I renew my motion.
The gentleman from Jefferson has renewed his motion for the third reading passage of House Committee Substitute House Bill 2909 with an emergency clause. All those in favor vote yes. All those opposed vote no. Mr. Clerk, please ring the bell and open the board. Members, I will remind you there is one more vote after this one. Has everyone voted? Mr. Clerk, please close the board and tally the vote. By your vote of 101 yes, 47 no, you have third read and passed House Committee Substitute House Bill 2909. Gentleman from Jefferson, you are recognized for the emergency clause.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of the emergency clause for House Committee Substitute for House Bill 2909.
The gentleman from Jefferson County has moved for the adoption of the emergency clause. Gentleman from Jefferson County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This emergency clause is, I I think pretty important. I know I'll get asked a question here in a minute. If it is a public safety and health issue, I think it most certainly is, to be able to have fair, transparent elections on time. And if you're undecided whether you want to do this, think about the challenges your county clerks will have if we don't get this done this week and goes into effect upon signature of the governor. If we have to wait until August 28th, it's not real good. So I would encourage everyone to support the emergency clause by voting yes.
Discussion on the emergency clause. Gentleman from Jackson.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I inquire of the Bill Handler, Bill Handler, please.
Gentleman from Jefferson, do you yield?
Yes, I do.
Proceed.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. So you touched on that a little bit. I'm just kind of curious. So, I do appreciate the part about the clerks. I understand.
Well, thank you.
I understand how that could be, it could cause some problems for them. I understand that. With regard to whether or not it affects the public health, safety, can you elaborate as to how you think that's the case?
I think it's best that we could do this and get it done now. They keep messing with that. I like that. I think it's important. The mental health, everyone knowing where they're at, what district. So I think we've passed emergency clauses for a lot less needed things. I think this is something that's very important that we need to make sure we get done. For our health and sanity.
For our health and sanity?
And the people we represent, sir, yes. And the clerks.
For the people we represent, I don't know that it really applies so much for the people that we represent. I get the clerk thing. I get the argument there, and I think
good.
that's...
So we're good. All right. Thank you, sir.
Move that back up. There you go. Story of your life. One quick question, another quick question. So, if this... Let's just hypothetically, so let's say if this map doesn't get passed and it goes to the courts and it gives a less favorable map, let's say the courts determine that, what do you think we would do next year?
I feel very confident this will be resolved this week. We'll send it to the governor for his signature, and it'll go into effect, and we'll have a very fine election in August.
But if it didn't?
A lot of justices will get to decide what they want to do with it, and I would rather us remove all potential roadblocks and make this as smooth as possible, take those things out of the way, and see where we go.
I guess what I'm getting at is, so the Constitution requires every 10 years we have to do this.
Correct.
But it doesn't say we may do it we could do it every 2 years if we wanted to, every 1 year if we wanted to. It's a lot of mess, and I don't think you'd want to do it every 2 years.
I'll give you my notes so you can take care of it next year, okay?
All right, I appreciate that. But I guess that's my point. We would ultimately just redo it, which I guess kind of...
I think there's some people that would disagree and agree, and I would rather us take any of the question out of what we can do. We're given a set of rules that we have right now. I would rather us proceed with those and then let the courts decide what they want to do, but let us take care of what we can under the circumstances we have now, and that'd be voting for this emergency clause.
Yeah, while I do appreciate your response, I have trouble with the whole emergency part of this. I
understand. You've been pretty consistent with that all year on the emergency clauses.
I try to be.
And that's why I came over and talked to you earlier.
Yes, that's exactly.
And I appreciate your support on this.
You're exactly right. Okay, all right. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Further discussion on the emergency clause? Seeing none. Gentleman from Jefferson, you are recognized to close.
I renew my motion.
The gentleman from Jefferson has renewed his motion for the adoption of the emergency clause for House Committee Substitute House Bill 2909. All those in favor vote yes. All those opposed vote no. Ms. Clerk, please ring the bell and open the board. Has everyone voted? Close the board and tally the vote. By your vote of 114 yes, 34 no, you have adopted the emergency clause. Gentleman from St. Louis County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next order of business is announcements.
Announcements. Gentleman from Jasper.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your announcement, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Budget will meet in House Hearing Room 3 immediately upon adjournment for a very brief executive session. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Further announcements. Gentleman from DeKalb.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. An announcement.
Proceed.
Your Committee on Rules, Administrative Oversight will meet. Yes, really, we will meet this time upon adjournment in Hearing Room 4. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Further announcements. Seeing none. Gentleman from St. Louis County.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members should be prepared to consider all Senate bills for third reading and Senate bills for third reading informal, with no further business coming before the body this evening. I now move the House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. Tuesday, May the 10th, 2022.
The gentleman from St. Louis County has moved the House stand adjourned until 10 a.m. Tuesday, May 10th, 2022. All those in favor will signify by saying aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. The House is adjourned.